Hey there, welcome. Today I kind of want to talk about the reason struggle and suffering and things we don't like are actually amazing. Um, there's the common adage that they're life lessons, they help us learn, they help us grow, and that, oh, you can't have light without dark, you can't have good without bad, pleasure without pain. I don't really engage with that dichotomy way of seeing it, or seeing it as like these dual forces. But in the last video, I talked about having good intentions. I talked about shifting our intentions from uh, the negative, suffering based intentions, whether it's towards others or towards ourselves, knowingly or unknowingly, and towards things that'll intend good things, intend truthful things. And then there gets to a point where you don't actually need any intention. You don't need to intend good things. You don't need to intend good feelings or positive outcomes. And that's because this infinite structure will do its thing, even if we have no intention in particular. And there will be things that happen that we don't intend. There will be things that happen that we don't like. There will be things that happen that will cause suffering and terror and fear. But in an infinite universe, these are possibilities. In an infinite universe where there's so many variables beyond our individual tiny life and our individual planet, we can't see the whole picture. There very well could be things happening behind the scenes or even in front of our eyes that are actually making everything go as it needs to, beyond our human anthropocentric view of good. And it's important to have soft intentions that you're able to let go of and transform and change, and intend and kind of being in a state where you don't need to focus so much on intention. It's not something you require to breathe, you require to love. It is just part of consciousness and the human experience. But there's more to reality than just that. And there's more to reality than just making good things happen and avoiding bad things. There's literally infinitely more than that. And so we miss out, ironically, on something very good when we only focus on intention-based consciousness, when we only focus on making good things happen and avoiding bad things. One of the most obvious is that we have this limited subjective sensation system, information system, and so do other humans. And we have a limited view about how everything operates on the planet and in the universe. And so when we want something, when we intend something, even if it's good, it can have unforeseen consequences on other beings. And this is kind of one of the big issues with the anthropocentric, consumerist world view and habit train. We constantly harm foreign entities, whether they're humans or plants or animals or whatever, to get things that we think are good, that we think are great, that we think are helpful and convenient and good quality of life and pleasurable and healthy. But in the end, we actually hurt ourselves because we are everything. In this infinite universe, there's really no true separation of any being, of any object, of any pattern, of any emotion, any feeling, any spirit. It's all one superfluous, fractal being beyond our perception. And if we want the power and the love and the experience of that whole self, which we all naturally do, we all edge towards that bliss, then we can't discount the parts. We can't just, people in Indonesia don't matter as much, or oh, you know, they're just my neighbors, I don't care about them as much as my family. We can't discount any being in obtaining our intentions, which is really why it's important to be soft, gentle, mindful, and aware when we create intentions, and willing to accept the consequences. And this means appreciating and loving negative occurrences. There are going to be bad things, there are going to be things that suck. Whether we call it karma, we call it lessons, doesn't matter. It is the infinite. It contains multitudes. These things that we don't like subjectively are going to happen. And they might be for the betterment of all beings, not just humans. And by appreciating those and engaging and dancing with those negative occurrences and changing our perception about them, we actually fall into our own being. We fall into our true self, we fall into our holistic, infinite self, which includes all of those. And then it goes in another direction where our Shakti, our impulse to make things loving and good and fun and positive, can also not be ignored. We need to dance with that. There's no two sides, there's no black and white. It is this infinite gradient in all directions. And appreciating all of it is how we live a full life, a purposeful life, an honest life. And it's how we actually learn to create new good emotions, because we aren't here to limit ourselves. We aren't here to just live in this picture perfect life. We're here to experience the boundless that's at the core of every moment. So this includes not having intentions. This includes engaging with what we would have called bad or negative before. This includes that patient persistence to continue with what's good, to continue with what we are driven towards, which is usually based on positive experiences of ourself and others. It's just something to keep in mind in the contrast where, yes, it's important to not have bad intentions. We're accidentally or purposefully making negative realities for ourselves and others, and shift that to things that are better. But then also to realize, to love reality, we must love that which is beyond intention. And by loving reality, we love ourselves. We love truly our loved ones who are completely one with us, our mother, our father, our kids, our friends, our partner, husband, wife. To love them fully is to love the whole thing. And to find ourself is to see the whole thing, continually expanding our perception and our understanding. And this includes all the things we didn't like. And this includes all the resistance we had to trying to make those things right. So, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's all part of God. And that's just a fancy word for this. Thank you so much for watching. Om Sai Ram.